Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, hey, everybody, this is Attilio, and this is that art part of the show, and I wanted to talk to you about the human connection, because people ask us all the time, how in the heck did y'all sell 1,700 homes over the last 20 years? And I will tell you, the number one thing that I would credit that to is being able to connect with another human being. Mm-hmm. And I'll give you a top tip for connecting with another human being. You ready, Adrienne?
Ready.
Well, listening, we talked about it on the last show, and listening is one of those things, active listening, being a good listener, asking for clarification if you're not clear on what they're sharing with you, but being a good listener is one of them. The other one is a lot of times, you're interacting with people, either people close to you or somebody that you met. Take a moment to relax and really plug into your gut feeling.
Intuition.
Your intuition. And think about it, because there's a thing, Tony Robbins talks about it. It's called pattern recognition. Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of nonverbal cues that you have from people, even people you met for the first time, that gives you an indication that something might be troubling them. What would be one of them, Adrienne?
Maybe like just the body language, if they have their arms crossed.
If they have their arms crossed.
Or they have like a grumpy look on their face.
Oh, that's me when I wake up in the morning. No. It's just noticing things. I have a good friend that I was talking to at the gym, and he's a really good listener and really quiet. But I noticed that he was even more quieter than usual. And I just said, hey, so-and-so, I noticed you're more quiet than usual. Is there anything that's bothering you? And he said, yeah, but it's the gym, so sometimes showing that concern, but the environment cannot be, or the timing cannot be good. But I will tell you that when you notice people around you, another human being that's having some challenges or might be down, go and you plug into your gut feeling and go and say, hey, is there anything that's bothering you? This therapist that I listened to on this podcast called Hidden Brain said that was a breakthrough in the therapy with the client. Mm-hmm. Is it called the client? I don't know what they call it, not the patient, whatever. But that when they said, hey, I noticed on our last session there was something bothering you, let's go over it and cover it. It created a breakthrough because the person was like, wow.
They're paying attention. They're actually listening.
Attention to me.
And I'm important.
I'm going to tell you, in relationships, your significant other is going to want you to intuitively notice that something is troubling them and not have to spell it out for you and do cue cards and go, here's what you should be saying to me right now. It's just not the same. Mm-hmm. So listen to that gut feeling, plug into, pay attention to noticing things around you. Don't be so caught up in I'm too busy. Mm-hmm. I'll circle back. And then you don't. And we call that, I think John Gottman, maybe he calls that sliding door moments in relationships.
Mm-hmm. And Brene Brown.
And Dr. Brene Brown. So You see somebody troubling, take the time. Hey, is something bothering you? They may or may not share it with you. But in that moment, they'll be like, wow.
At least they notice.
You get me.
They care.
You get me. And so do that with everybody around you, and you're going to be more successful than you know what to do with.
Well, speaking of someone who truly cares, we have Mary with Hawaii Pacific Property Management with her tip of the week.
Hey, Mari, do we say Mary or we say Maori?
Mary.
Oh, Mary. Okay, I'll call you those people that live in New Zealand, Maori. But no, it's Mary. Mary. Or like Frank De Lima, Mary. How come your baby diaper's so full? No. Okay, Mary. So Hawaii Pacific Property Management, you have a tip of the week for us this week. What is it?
Why allow pets in a rental unit?
That's an interesting one. Tell us more.
Yes. Okay, so the reasons why is you get a bigger tenant pool. Mm-hmm. So with many tenants having pets, allowing them dramatically increases the number of people who might apply. More demand, less vacancy, right?
Yeah.
Higher rent potential. So a lot of times I've noticed that tenants with pets will say, well, we can pay a higher rent if, the owner is willing to let us. So they're setting the command, to have higher rent. Mm-hmm. And many renters are willing to pay because they love their pet. They're part of the family.
Yes.
Yep.
I think you guys should charge more if they have teenagers. There should be a teenager deposit.
Now, teenagers can be just as destructive as pets can be.
Especially when you take their smartphones away from them
know.
and make them, go out and play in the outside world.
Yeah.
They get upset. So talk about the pets. Yeah, talk about the pets because, a lot of people have misconceptions that people with pets and the place can get all bust up and all that stuff. What do you guys do? What kind of precautions do you guys put in place to make sure that it's
protect the property?
It's a win-win situation between the tenants, pets, and the property owner? How do you make it a win-win?
Yeah. So basically, with pets, you're okay to. I mean, you can collect a pet deposit, but if you have a service animal or an emotional support animal, you're not allowed to.
Okay.
So that's why we're always telling owners, I highly suggest you put pets negotiable because more people will be open and be upfront with you. Because if they turn their pet or their pet into an ESA or emotional, their ESA or the service animal, then you can't collect a deposit.
Yes.
As they're upfront with you and they're saying, hey, I have a pet. So it's not an ESA, it's not a service animal, so they have it. And then to ensure we do every 4 months, we will do a property walkthrough of the property for, every 4 months. So to make sure that, that there's no pet damage, there's not another unauthorized pet. We do that to ensure that the tenants are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And you guys have these policies based on, past experience. I know, early on in Hawaii Pacific Property Management, there was, a whole, owner who was very adamant about not allowing any kind of animals. And then there was, a service animal, and it was just a big mess.
Yeah, and we've learned from that.
Yep. And then I know in my property, this one's got sold, but there was supposed to be a medium-sized dog, and then Duke went in and just to do, the walkthrough, and it was the owner didn't want him to go, or not the owner, the tenant didn't want him to go into this one bedroom, and he could hear these loud sounds, and they opened the door, and this dog was 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So, yeah. So then he gave him notice, hey, you gotta get rid of the dog or get out.
Yeah. So so with the other thing too, Mary, that they just can't go carte blanche and trash the place, even if they have a service animal or emotional support animal, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that doesn't give them the right to do that. It just there are certain rights that are protecting the ability of that animal to be in the place, but they cannot be going and trashing the unit.
I think that there's probably a lot more positive experiences with tenants that have these, animals that are allowed than there are with the negative experiences. There's probably a couple that happen based people that are not responsible pet owners.
I think it's the ones that they sneak them in.
That
it's probably has a high probability of it not working out well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, those are the ones that usually have the issue. But most times they're very, very honest, and we'll ask them for the weight of the dog, and they have all the information. And before we even approve that applicant, we still send the owner all the information. The owner a picture of the dog. How much it weighs, what color, type of breed. Yeah. So the owner is also aware of all of that, which is a good thing. And this is before we even put the tenant in with a pet.
Yeah. What can be the pet deposit be? How much? Is there a limit, or how does that determined?
There is a limit. It's equal. Okay, so at Hawaii Pacific Property Management, we do it by weight.
Okay.
So it goes by weight. So it's between 1,000 to 1,500.
Okay.
But the law says we can charge up to 1 month's rent.
Oh, wow.
Equal to 1 month's rent.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you guys have had good experiences though with charging those extra pet deposits.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, you guys have had good experiences by charging the pet deposits based on weight versus just doing a whole month.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds more fair because if they got like one tiny Chihuahua that just sits in a little bag in a carrier and you don't even know they're there, you might even accidentally step on them. They're so tiny. So.
Yeah. And the rent is $4,000, and that's one.
Yeah. So you don't want to charge $4,000 for one tiny teacup Chihuahua.
No.
But,
no.
For a Mastiff, or some of the bigger dogs, then obviously they have more propensity to create damage in the unit, and you got to have that deposit in place.
You got to protect the property and the owners.
Yeah.
So
yes,
while being fair to the pet owners and the tenants.
While being fair, yes, yes, and at move out, they also have to have the property pest controlled inside and outside.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's good to know.
Yes, thank you for sharing the pet policy and encouraging homeowners or investors to allow the pets.
Yeah.
You got to just have the rules and the guidelines to follow.
Okay.
So.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And do the follow-up walkthrough, which is very important.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
All righty.
All right, so that was Hawaii Pacific Property Management with their tip of the week. You can find them under Experts We Trust on the Resource tab.
All right, next up is open houses, which is going to be
Sunday, April 6th.
Sunday, 46109. You know what? We should
Konohiki Street.
Before we say the address, so people can they're going to go wide, narrow. Let's start with the city. So this one is going to be in Kaneohe. The address is 46109 Konohiki Street.
And it's a new reduced price.
New unit number 3921, new reduced price. And what is that new price?
$650,000.
This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse with stunning bay views.
Upgraded double pane windows and 2 parking.
Access to 3 pools, sauna, BBQ areas, tennis court.
Peaceful, walkable community near shopping and dining.
And we're going to zoom all the way over to H3 to the west side is the best side. And we have an open house in Waianae. What's the street address?
871542 Nakii Street.
All right. List price is $940,000.
4-bedroom, 3-bath home with a loft in Sea Country.
23 owned solar panels and no rear neighbors.
Freshly painted, large fenced yard with a gazebo.
Gorgeous mountain views and near beaches and trails.
All right. This next one is
tell her what city.
Grand open house in Waipahu. Actually, this is Waikele. I mean, it's Waipahu, Waikele.
If you get the mail, somebody mail you one letter, it's going to go to Waipahu. The address is 94-551 Lumi'au'au. What's the price?
It is $1,285,000.
4-bedroom, 3-bath home on 5,000 square foot lot.
New luxury vinyl plank flooring and remodeled bathrooms.
Golf course views, central AC and open living area.
Minutes from the Waikele Outlets and Country Club.
All right, this one's back on the market in Wahiwa. 177777. No, not have all those sevens. Eames Street. Eames Street. All right, what's the price?
This one is listed at $1,168,000.
This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, nearly half an acre. No HOA.
It's a unique charm with soji doors and fireplace.
Oh, okay. So I thought that was like soju. No, that's the Korean
drink.
Alcohol. It had not soji doors. Tesla Powerwall, fruit trees and garden retreat.
Room for 6+ cars, outdoor kitchen potential, gazebo, and amphitheater.
Join us this Sunday for all of these open houses. If you want, forget about all of that stuff. You can go to teamlally.com, click on our open house tab, and you'll see our open houses that are happening every week. By the way, open houses is the reasons why we are continuing to have a career night. In fact, tell us about this career night, Adrienne. What is this HawaiiCareerNight.com thing?
All right, so this Hawaii Real Estate Career Night is going to be happening April 7th from 6 until 7.
Okay.
Doors open at 5:30. It's going to be at the Keller Williams office. It's in Kapolei.
In Kapolei, next to Doroku.
Yes. So it's going to be hosted by Laura Fleming and co-hosted by Daniel Ulu.
Well, here's what they want to know. What are we going to learn at this thing? You're going to have a panel discussion. You're going to have people on there talking about property management, administrative roles, sales, all of the different things and different aspects of real estate.
Income potentials, overcoming obstacles. mastering existing careers. So if you are already licensed,
Yes.
and maybe you're not where you want to be,
Yeah.
come to the career night. You could learn a thing or two. We are going to be sharing some secrets there.
Yeah. By the way, at any time, we're always looking for some superstars to come join us out there in kicking some butt, taking names and all of that stuff. All you got to do at any time if you want to set up an interview, go through the process at jointeamlally.com. Again, that's jointeamlally.com. Maybe you got somebody in your life that's like, they're a superstar. They should be doing real estate. Tell them about jointeamlally.com.
Yeah, so we are actively hiring
10 agents.
Yeah, 10 more agents. We've got 2 more that are going to be onboarding next week. And
So we got 8 more slots.
We have room for more people on our team. And you don't need to wait for the next career night. You can just go to jointeamlally.com and start your application there. See if we're a good fit.
By the way, we don't care if you're licensed or not. You just got to be humble, hungry, and smart. Speaking of somebody that's humble, hungry, smart, they live it, they eat it, they breathe it. Who's that?
That would be Olivia Lin, and she's going to talk to us about a project in Manoa.
Manoa?
The Aria Lane Manoa project.
No way.
Yes,
Olivia, are you there?
What do we need to know?
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. What you got for us?
So I guess a lot of people don't know this, but there is a brand new project coming up in Manoa where the old St. Francis School location is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty large development, and it's going to be 85 single-family homes.
Whoa.
There's something a little bit special about this, though. This is the most, I guess, eastern new development that we have on island.
Yeah. We don't expect this. Everything's like Everplain, Mililani, but you don't expect new developments like that many homes on the east side. So tell us more.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
So it's 85 single-family homes, and what's great about this is that most of these homes actually have the option to convert one of the ground floor rooms to in-law suites with a kitchenette, separate entrance, etc.
Nice.
So if you have, in-laws, maybe they need a little bit of help, they can't go upstairs, this would be perfect for them.
Yeah.
So, or even like aging in place, or could you create it so it's like a completely separate unit and rent it out?
Yeah.
You potentially could. I do want to stress that it is only a kitchenette, though, so you can't put a full stove, fridge, etc. in it.
Yeah. So they can do ramen.
Yeah, like a college student could totally
They can
live
do
there.
cup noodle.
It'd be easy to just put a college student
Put
there.
a college student in there. They go in UH Manoa and be like, hey, I got my 4-year degree and I was sponsored by Cup Noodle.
There you go.
Yeah. So these homes, they're going to range anywhere from 1,600 square feet to just about 2,200 square feet.
Okay.
And the starting price is going to be a little bit higher, but for Manoa brand new home, I think it's pretty reasonable. So starting price is going to be somewhere around $2 million, and it'll be ranging from $2 to about $2.3 million.
Yeah.
And estimated completion date is somewhere around 2027, 2028.
Okay.
So you could put the reservations in now, correct? And hold that pricing so like as the prices rise, you've been locked into that price.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as of right now, there's no reservation system yet, but you can get onto a list to pre-reserve a name. Just put your name on the list.
Yeah.
They're still finalizing permits. They're still developing, and they're still making sure everything is good before they start the construction. But if you're interested, you can definitely put your name on a list so that when they do start taking reservations and deposits, you would be, first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if our listeners are interested, just reach out to us here at Team Lally, and we'll help you to get on that interest list.
Well, we do. On the selling tab under teamlally.com, we got new construction. So take a look, keep an eye on our new construction page, and Olivia will be our reporter on the ground giving you updates.
Yes. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you, guys.
All righty.
All right. So I also want to just talk about a couple of other homes that Team Lally has listed. So we do have another home that's in Wahiwa. This one is actually in Whitmore Village of Wahiwa.
Yeah, let me give you the address. It's 201 North Circle Mauka. List price is $1,050,000.
It's 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, single family home in central Wahiwa.
Permit ready, separate living space, ideal for multi-generational living or rental income.
Beautiful mountain views and a charming loft area.
Updated kitchen and new exterior paint.
Vaulted ceilings and walk-in closet in the master suite.
Large outdoor entertainment space with privacy and views. What's the next one? Where's the next one located?
Eva Beach.
Eva Beach. All right, this one's at 91-517 Pohakapuna Road. List price is $970,000.
3 bedrooms, 1 bath with modern upgrades.
Remodel kitchen with contemporary appliances.
10 leased solar panels.
Equals energy efficient. New lava rock. What that mean? They went Big Island and you get some lava
Yes,
rock.
they got some new lava rock.
Fencing for charm and privacy.
Spacious yard with potential to expand.
No HOA fees near the beach and Waikai
Waikai
Surf Park.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, check it out on LinkedIn. I posted a Team Lally board meeting. No, it was at the surf park. But perfect coastline lifestyle. By the way, we have anywhere, I think we're up to probably 15 to 25 coming soon properties that are in some stage of preparation. So if you want to get that VIP list from us, get past the velvet ropes and the and our large bouncer, his name is Eric from the Philippines. All you got to do is give us a call, 799-9596.
All right, I do have a review to share before we take a break. Yes. This is from Kristen. Kristen says that Kali'ilam tirelessly worked for us. He is easy to get along with and is really knowledgeable with real estate in Hawaii. He was also great with our family and our 2 wild boys. Kali'i's had a lot of practice with these wild children.
These boys were kalohi.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember Kali'i's been with us for probably like 12 years now.
Yeah.
And so when my kids were little, they loved hanging out with Kali'i also. So he's, excellent with the wild children.
Kali'i was actually was a baby in a little basket. He was left on the doorsteps of the old Team Lally office. If we didn't save him, he would have been raised by these wild dogs in Kalihi. Well, we brought him inside, we sheltered, we nurtured him, we raised him, and now he's a grown man selling real estate. That is the story of Kali'ilam. I think we should put that on the Team Lally website.
His bio?
On his bio, my story of Kali'ilam.
Okay. So
His nickname is Mowgli. Oh, wait, no, that's a Disney. What the? Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, we are going to take a break.
Yeah.
But stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Thomas DeCastro of Breaks Are for Kids.
Yeah.
He's going to take us through the history of Hawaii's hip-hop scene from the 70s to today. And stay with us.
Stay with us and your backspins.
That's right. Head spins, too.
Decades 107.9 playing the greatest music ever made. It's Mornings with Augie. Hey, you know someone that moved to the mainland but left the rental property behind? So Amber wanted to create a new investment opportunities on the mainland, but she had to sell her island rental first. So she reached out to our good friends Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Handling the business virtually with Amber, Adrienne and Attilio came prepared with multiple 5-star selling strategies, including adjusting Amber's selling price expectations, and the home sold in days. If you're in the market to sell your home and you want a team that will make you the most money with the least amount of drama, you can trust our good friends Adrienne and Attilio of Team Lally. Give them a call today, 808-799-9596. That's 808-799-9596. They're trusted. You see these signs all over in my community. Visit teamlally.com today. That's teamlally.com today.
Hey, Sean Hannity here with the only real estate team in your market that I recommend. Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. You know, a lot of people may be thinking about selling their home, but they want to make sure they're getting the most money possible. What options do you have available to make selling a home easier?
Well, Sean, the biggest headache people have is not actually the selling of the home, but getting it ready for sale. The cleaning, the repairing, the decluttering. You know, 90% of painting a home is in the prep work, not in the actual painting, and it's not in the actual selling. Well, we got solutions.
That's right, Attilio. Here are the solutions. Our aspirin to the headache of prepping a home is our 10K for Upgrades program. That's where we do the project management of cleaning, repairing, and decluttering. That's how we make our sellers more money.
All right, thanks for keeping us up to date. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com.
In today's fast-changing real estate market, you need access to the right information to make smart choices. I invest in real estate all over the country. And I rely on smart agents who know their local market inside and out. In Honolulu, I work with Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Adrienne, Attilio, and their team sell a home every 72 hours and have over 750 five-star reviews. Go to teamlally.com and find out in just seconds what your home is really worth.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Our guest today was born in Dali City. I'm going to say Dali or Daly. We'll get the correction on that. And raised in Waipahu. He's a passionate breakdancer who dedicated to building a sustainable breaking culture in Hawaii. Through his organization, Breaks Are For Kids, he educates youth families on the positive impact of hip-hop and dance in the community.
He is also helping to elevate Hawaii's breaking scene to the national stage by integrating it into the AAU Junior Olympic Games. His mission is to empower the next generation of dancers and provide opportunities for them to grow, perform, and thrive. Please welcome back Thomas DeCastro.
Hey, Thomas.
How you guys doing? It's great to be back.
All right.
It's been a minute, but we're so happy to have you back and sharing with our listeners all the great things that you've been up to.
You know, I ran into Thomas the other day, and we were in a breakdance battle, and he told me, now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat, and me, the groove, and my friends are going to try to move your feet. You see, I'm Wonder Mike, and I like to say, no, that's Rapper's Delight. Anyway,
and
I'm throwing back, because that was back in the 80s. Thomas, you probably weren't even born. Back in the 80s.
I was on the later
yes.
tail of that. I was born
late
in 87.
You're like generation 3 of the breakdancers. But when I was in high school back in the 80s, everybody had their cardboard, those the ski hats, so that we could do head spins and not end up like bald like Homer Simpson.
They still use those same hats.
Yep.
They use the cardboard.
It's all the same.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that like there's been some innovation since then. But Tom goes by B-Boy Tom Solo.
Tom Solo.
Can you share with us, how did you come up with this break-in name? And why do breakdancers have these specialized names?
Yeah.
Well, when we have these particular names, we somewhat take on a character, you know, something that we can build from like the bottom to the top. And I think that's why a lot of people that are, you know, willing for, especially in the athletic type of a challenge, you know, people draw themselves to it because it's, like, we get to create a persona that we want to be, and, like, we want to be strong, and we want to be, and it's almost kind of just like, you know, when you're a little kid, man, I want to be a ninja turtle, I want to be a ninja, and you just think, I'm going to train as hard as I can to be the best ninja ever. This is the same thing, but, you know, with breakdancing, and it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So,
and,
I got my name.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I was going to say, it's just so athletic nowadays. I mean, it's amazing. It's like you guys are like Olympic athletes on the ground.
They are. It was in the Olympics. And he's like trying to build this junior Olympic team. So this is, you know, definitely a very exciting time with breakdancing.
Yeah.
But I do want to hear about your name, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, back in the day, it seemed that it was, like, really territorial, as if it was, like, in the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you break with a certain community. Those are your friends. That's your tribe, you know. And then we meet at, like, pretty much, like, you know, like, neutral grounds, which was called the Philcom. At our So, Waipahu in the house. Yeah, so the Filipino Community Center is a really, really legendary spot because that was the time that we were like, there's no social media. The way to get our respect and their clout or any type of, you know, to get your name out there was to be there, to train hard, and to just keep on coming back, even if you lose and stuff. So I saw everybody within their towns that were dancing similar to each other, and that was cool. But for myself, I never thought of myself like wanting to limit myself to only one particular style with the people that I practice with. You know, much respect to them, but I wanted to cross the lines and be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm calling myself Tom Solo because just because I'm from Waipahu doesn't mean that I'm going to take allegiance to any of the crews that represent here. I want to be able to, like, I'm not going to be anybody's team. If you guys need me, I'll battle with you guys. But I just want to learn from everybody, and that kind of just opened me up to be able to, when I was throwing events, made me give like a very level ground of like, yo, it's pretty level ground. Tom Solos doesn't really lean any other particular way towards town or this, but it was more so like it kind of melted in that sense.
Yeah,
you know?
you're on the world team. World team.
Yeah. So there was no alliance to any particular area. You just really wanted to connect with everyone who was dancing. Just a way to make a connection instead of being like, on a certain team, right?
All right. So where's some of the places where you guys maybe practicing at?
Yeah, with the Breaks Are for Kids.
Yeah.
Now, if our listeners wanted to find out more about it and kind of take a look, I know you post quite a bit on Instagram. So what's going on with the Breaks Are for Kids? Where do they practice?
Yeah.
So Breaks Are for Kids right now is being held out at Hawaii Ballet Theater out in town, across the street from the Inspiration Furniture, right next to the Japanese barbecue spot.
Oh, okay. I know exactly where that is. No, I don't. I mean, Kapolei, I don't know where that is.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I know where Inspirations is.
Townside.
Townside, yeah. And
so we're right over there right now, and as of right now, because we are in the Olympic trials right now, we are holding off on until everything's done, which is where there's one that we just went through. The second one is going to be coming up, and then the third one's going to be after May. But we're going to be holding tryouts just because it's been really big recently, a huge kind of like wave of interest with breaking, and it's hard for me to like just open the floodgates and be like, yes, everybody can break now. We're not going to fit in that room. So we want to be able to just make sure the kids that we have right now, we are on point. We're training them super hard. We're representing the best through these Olympic trials. And then once we have everything set well and done, then we'll start opening things up and, expanding the crew.
So what are the ages that kids can be in order to qualify for this the Junior Olympic trials?
So for the Junior Olympic trials, you have to be 7 years old. That's the youngest you can be. But we do have another division for anybody that's under than that. They're called the Minis division. It's pretty much like they get to be part of the stage and get to be part of like the program, but they don't. It doesn't qualify them to go off to the Junior Olympics, which is being held in Texas this year.
Oh wow!
2025.
Nice.
Now, what about like the regular Olympics? We were all watching this whole thing with the breakdancing, with now like newly being in the Olympics, and then there was that dancer from Australia who's made a lot of
the infamous question. Here it comes.
Yes.
So everybody wants to know, and see, this is what gets most parents in breaking. It's cool because they're in the need to know. You know, they all have regular jobs and everything, and somehow they know, like, hey, I've got the info because my kid breaks, and everybody wants to know, hey, Susan from accounting knows what happens. Ask her.
Yeah.
Her kid goes to breakdance.
Danny from the copy room. The Copinator.
Yeah, everybody loves it now. And see, the thing is, it made a bigger impact because we thought, like, okay, next wave of breaking, cool, we're gonna do great, and blah blah blah. But it went bigger than expected because in the momentary flop of you guys saw what happened.
Yes.
We realized that people want to know, like everybody's eyes and ears are open. They don't just want to watch us. They want to listen to us and understand what was the difference of this whole thing. Now, we can go ahead and break it off and say there was a conspiracy, there's this and that. But the best thing to say is that we were not 100% prepared for anything of this scale, especially with Australia not being, I mean, they're on the world stage when it comes to like all the big events that happen. Australia is not one of like the top countries. It's usually like China, Japan, Korea, like Russia, or like any of like those other countries, even France. France like is. I love to say America, but we're hanging in there. We got some good, but I can't say we're the top. But you know, they didn't know what was being handed off to them. In the same way that before, when I was kind of like, you know, angry too, like, oh, what are they doing? They messed everything up. But you know, seeing how firsthand trying to organize an Olympic qualifier and get everything done. I'm doing it myself because I'm doing the junior version of it.
Yes.
To be given something so big and so important, and with the smallest kind of people watching you, you know, you want it to be perfect, and you can only do as best as you can. And for the first time that it happened, not too bad, but you know, something fell through the cracks. And the fact of the matter is, they didn't have enough time to prepare and to get everybody qualified. They had one qualifier, which other countries had many qualifiers around the entire country that they had to qualify for, especially us. And they had one battle. They only had one battle to go. It's like, hey, do this one battle, then you get to go to the Olympics, and that's how it went.
Oh wow!
You know, like so.
Get
like
us,
everybody else.
So other countries had a much more extensive
head start
vetting and probably a lot more talent. That's
the problem with the United States is that most people's concept of breakdancing is when you go to a wedding and some drunk 50-year-olds get on the stage and start doing backspins. But it's more than that. I was describing me at a wedding with the 1 or 2 Coronas in me doing backspins. But it's more than that because I'm like, I'm not on any social media, but I get on like the YouTube shorts and there'll always be a little breakdancing thing.
They're very athletic.
And you know what they do?
So strong.
They zoom in on the audience and the audience is like completely blown away with
Yes.
And I'm looking at how are these kids aliens? I didn't even know bodies could even do that. It's amazing what these kids. There's nothing like when I was in high school.
And how strong.
Nothing.
They've got to be like strong and coordinated and
flexible.
Yeah, like it's just like very similar to gymnastics.
Yeah.
Right, but like
there was
so much more.
Yeah.
We have to see the silver lining, though. After everything was all said and done with all of that mess or craziness, you know.
It's creating motivation.
Everything is starting to, motivation, exactly. These kids now see that, and parents, changing the game for it to not be just a one-off event or my kid is really good and he goes to these local events and everything. But the fact of the matter is that my kid can go to the Junior Olympics, or on top of that, my community here, or the breakdancing community here, has another AAU league outside of the Olympics that goes on throughout the year. You know, this gives them stability, it gives us sustainability, and it gives us like a lot more things to work with and open up for the schools. Like, as you guys know, I'm currently serving Iolani as my main school that I serve for their after-school program, as well as their summer. Because of the explosion of everything, now we are going to be asked to be in Star of the Sea and Mid-Pack starting in 2020. School year.
Yeah.
So once everything like pretty much all said and done, you know, we have the legitimacy of the AAU. We have schools that are willing and participating, and we have students that want to do this as a sport. All we have to do is wait for that question. It's like, hey, do you guys want to be a sport? And then Coach Tom Solo will say, yes, please, and we got everything to go.
That's nice.
So, well, I know that, like, so all of my kids did some break surfer kids with you, like, back in the day.
Then back in Eva Beach?
Yeah, and, like, my daughter, she was more of, like, a dancer, but she partook in one of the battles.
Yeah.
But Aiden and little Chad, they really had gotten into it, and I know Aiden had, he had tried to push it through at Campbell to try and create like a breakdancing club. But then COVID happened, so it was like that just got all squashed.
Yeah.
And I will tell you though, my oldest son, he ended up going to Youth Challenge, and I think because of some of the, just the concepts that Tom had taught him, and he was able to really like connect through dance with the other kids there, and he did very well at a very tough school. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of this breakdancing community and everything that Tom instills into these
Tom,
students.
I think you're going to get a lot of support because I'm 58, and I will tell you how was a breakdancer in high school? That was before the internet, so there is absolutely no evidence. But no, we used to, and this is a shout out to Ka'ala Souza, my classmate, because both of us, we used to breakdance and perform like an actual routine at our dances. And our final performance, we're more like a comedy act, though. We weren't like the really good breakdancers, but we were funny and entertaining, and we even performed. People out there, somebody tells me there's a VHS tape, that's how dated it is, of us dancing at our senior dinner up at Kamehameha Schools, and we were breakdancing. So I'd love to see that video because it's going to completely...
Oh, wow. Wait. Kamehameha. You went to Kamehameha?
Yeah, I went to Kamehameha Schools. Class of 85.
Oh, okay, wait. Wow. Okay, wait, let me tell you something. We're talking with Kamehameha, and I like what they're doing with their dance community?
No, but tell us.
Let me tell you real quick. Here's a little insider information with Kamehameha. Like, they are on point. I love what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So, the older classmen, I think they already graduated last year, but they wanted to set up all the dance program, like for hip hop and, choreography type of stuff for success. So what they've done is they allowed the middle schoolers to be able to come to high school to practice and train. And what we're trying to do we're working them with the elementary right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get our workshops in, but we want to be able to get the elementary school kids learning how to break. So by the time they get to the middle school, they have a strong foundation of breaking. You put in choreography with that, and then they go all the way through high school. Imagine Kamehameha having like a really strong, not only hula program, but a very strong dance program that way too, because of what the Kamehameha kids, the seniors, have set for them, and I think that's great. So shout out to Kamehameha.
All right, Imua is our motto, and it's the Hawaiian word of the day. It means forward. So keep moving forward with that, Kamehameha schools.
So Tom, what you guys are working on sounds like trying to create like breakdancing teams on with the different schools.
Yeah,
I think that would just be an amazing thing. Yep.
Yeah, we actually had one. The other year with Hawaii Baptist Academy, we were able to show right before the girls' JV volleyball. It's funny, Kamehameha versus HBA. So right before that volleyball game, my kids got a chance to show what breaking would look like as a sport. And this was like 2 years before the whole AAU thing came up to us and whatnot. We were trying to get this thing done for the longest time. So it's nice to see that now. Like I just put myself in the right position to be able to be ready for the opportunity. We went to recently to California. Shout out to In the Circle, which is a Vans-sponsored event. And we were trying to just connect with all of the different dance schools. We had our kids actually dance and have a dance circle with like Alchemy Breaking from Las Vegas.
Nice.
We Break from LA. Finest City Breaking from San Diego, and it was just so funny because me and my son went to San Diego after, and we met Coach Aranetic, and Coach Aranetic was the one that I told him my dream, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to bring you guys out to Hawaii someday to get this league going." And guess who is the president of the AAU breaking?
Who?
Coach Aranetic.
Oh, wow.
And it was
nice.
kind of.
Good connection.
Perfect. I like, bro, he already knew. It was like, hey, we wanted to do this league from a long time ago before the opportunity came along. So he knew that I was the right guy for it,
So if any of our listeners have kids that are, into breakdancing or want to learn more.
Get more information.
Yeah, do you have another event coming up soon that they can come and attend and watch
or Instagram
and cheer you on?
Attilio, let me tell you something. Attilio, you're going to love this one. So the first event was actually kind of a surprise. Our dance community has been, I feel, in somewhat of a lull, so I needed to do something that was very, very impactful and interesting. So the first event that I did a surprise reveal, like a week before it happened. All the people knew what's up, but then I released it, and it was at the legendary Philcom Center, and nobody has brought us back there for many years. So it was a really, really strong thing for our kids to see this. Even the generation right now, some of the younger teenagers never been in that room before. So it was amazing for everyone. So that was number one. That went off and went amazing. The second one that we have, you're going to love, because we want our kids to learn about their history. So we are bringing back 4 main crews to speak upon their time in the community and their contributions. One of them will be ABC Rocksteady. The next one will be Foot Rock Bunch. The next one will be the Supreme Team. And then for the final one, we have Bomb Squad with Harold and Noria.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if you brought back the original guys, we might be like, with the Walkers and stuff like that, because this breaking dancing has been around a long time.
And then the third one is a little bit of a secret. I can't give too much. I will tell you that it is going to be on Saturday. It's going to be on Memorial Day weekend.
Cool.
And it's going to be another place that not many people would figure a breakdancing place about to be. But I'll tell you this, it'll be huge.
Cool.
So if the listeners follow the Breaks Are for Kids Instagram, is that where they can find out more, like announcements coming up about events and opportunities to, just to learn more about getting involved?
Yes, exactly. That would be the best place to contact us at Breaks Are for Kids, HI. That is BREAKS, the letter R, number 4, KIDZ, HI.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So go ahead and follow that account and, just watch for the events that are going to be taking place. And,
Yeah.
They're fun. I've been to several of these events, which is high energy and amazing athletes and just like a really positive community. So,
My breakdance name is going to be Flying Hawaiian.
There you go. Let's go.
It's going to be Break My Back Hawaiian, but anyway.
Is there anything else, Tom, that you want our listeners to know about with breakdancing, Breaks Are for Kids, upcoming events?
Yeah.
Anything else that we need to cover that we didn't cover already?
Everything I feel was everything I need to say. I will leave you guys with one last thing, and it's very similar to what I've told you guys before. Is that this whole breakdancing thing, it's not what you guys thought it used to be.
Yeah.
How it was back in the days and everything. Right now, it's very, very different. And the way that the AAU is making it, it's fair. Kids being able to go in their own divisions, battling and being able to get all these different types and being able to be taken seriously as an actual athlete. When my kids come around with these stickers that say AAU breaking on it, their friends that are there in soccer or baseball see that and see them as a peer, not as just, hey, you do something, a random thing after school. You say, oh, you're an athlete like me. So give this whole breaking thing a chance. Listen, these coaches are, these break dancers that will be teaching your kids are just as much coaches as like those football guys or anything. So give them those respect because they've had years and years of experience as well. So treat them as such as well. We're going to, that's.
And it's a great workout. I remember we used to spend hours doing that stuff and we were exhausted afterwards. It is not an easy thing
They make it look easy, though.
They make it look easy.
It's not easy.
Just like anything where you achieve anything at a high level, you got to put the time and discipline into it and be open to coaching and direction, which is, and you've been involved with this long time. I mean, just like even before. How long have you been involved with the breakdancing and from an organized standpoint?
From an organized standpoint, about 2 decades, over 2 decades.
Wow.
Wow, and you sound like you're 12. You got that youthfulness behind you, Tom Solo. I know. I remember last time he was on the show, we had him in the studio.
Yes. Yep.
That was a while ago. So,
well, Tom, thank you so much for being our guest again and giving us an update. I'm so proud of everything you've been able to accomplish with the breakdancing community and the Breaks Are for Kids. And
go get that gold medal for the United States.
Yeah, we're proud of you.
One of these kids, one of my kids are going to get it. They're all hungry for it.
There you go. All righty.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Tom Solo.
Breaks Are for Kids.
Breaks Are for Kids.
Yep. All right. So I do want to touch on our real estate career nights.
By the way, we're
April 7th.
Yeah, April 7th. It's going to be 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Even if you don't RSVP, come anyway.
Yep.
Because it's going to be exciting if you're looking to make a career move. Maybe you want, what? We got 3 different kind of ways you can get into real estate. You can be full-time.
Part-time.
And no time. No time is what we call a referral agent. You get the license and you're legally able to receive referral fees because you send us your family.
And then we take care of it on a full-time basis.
On a full-time basis, and you get a referral fee. Part-time would be like maybe you got a full-time day job and maybe you want to do stuff on the evenings and weekends. We have a track for that.
Yep.
And then full-time means I'm all in. I want to go for it. Swing for the fences. We have a very intense 30-day training program that will get you up to speed and operating like a top 1% agent because that's who we are. We teach you what we know. Cannot teach what you don't know, but we do. So no theory here. All hands-on stuff we do every day to sell a ton of homes like we do year after year after year.
So this career night will be taking place in Kapolei at the Keller Williams office. It's located right next to DeCastro. And again, doors open at 5:30. It's from 6 till 7. Bring your questions. They will all be answered. We're going to go over different things like your income potential, overcoming obstacles. Maybe, you already are licensed and just not having the kind of results that you need to have. And you need to make a change. So come learn. Come learn a little more. We're going to share all our secrets.
If you want to launch a new career in real estate, we're going to get you teed up and give you the 10 things that you need to do to launch this career and blast off.
Yep. And if you just can't wait to come to career night and you want to come.
We'll do a one-on-one career night at
Well, you got to go to jointeamlally.com, and we'll explore if we're a good fit.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's all we have to say on the career night.
Hey, for you sellers out there, I just want you to realize that here we are in a market that is softening. There's a ton of inventory. Buyers are kind of getting all, they're getting tired. They're getting tired. So just be prepared. And I'm going to give you the top tips here for getting your home sold in a short period of time versus long. You really, really got to put the effort into getting your home prepared for sale.
It's all in the preparation.
Yep.
It is a beauty contest out
Yep.
there.
Really, you got to go the extra mile, do the extra things. And by the way, you don't need to figure out what you need to do. We'll come visit and give you a list. If you want to do some of it, none of it, we'll do all of it. We'll manage it for you, get it all ready for sale. Then we're going to sit down with you all the way through the process and figure out what you need to do to price it to get an offer in ASAP.
The other thing is we have a program in case you're a little short on cash, and it's meant to do these like property prep up to $10,000, the $10K for upgrades. So there are some qualifications for the properties, but we'll see if you do qualify, and we can help you with things like paint, new carpet, cleaning. Just if you want to do some updates.
If you want to do some nutty thing like I want to put a jacuzzi in the kitchen, no, we're not doing that. So anyway, and we will tell you based on 20 years of experience, 1,700 plus transactions, exactly what are the hot buttons for buyers, and we'll focus our time and energy and money in doing that for your property so that we can get in an escrow as soon as possible.
Yes, because the days on market
have been creeping up.
So we've got to, have a good strategy for getting it into escrow quickly.
All righty. So, are we coming to the end of another show?
Yes, we are.
Well, the one thing that we're looking for as far as team members, remember this, you got to be humble, you got to be hungry.
And smart.
And we don't mean IQ smart. We mean EQ smart. Means that emotional intelligence.
Be a good lister.
You know what? Here's the deal. You want to get a playbook for how to be a better human being towards other human beings? Get the book. I was given this book 30 years ago, and I read it we read it every year. And I've read it every year. I hand it out to my kids. I make them read it. I pay them to read it. It's How to Be a Better Human Being with Other Human Beings, called
How to Win Friends and Influence People,
by Dale Carnegie. There's a new updated version called How to Win Friends and Influence People in the digital age, because it talks about email and text messages and social media and all of that, and how to, it's a learned behavior. Being kind and with good soft skills with other people, that's a learned behavior. We're not born with it.
All right. Thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley with Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson, Fine Line Paintworks.
MP with Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, Attorney at Law.
Rhino with Hawaii Unified.
Janice of Dreamhouse Drafting.
Fabio with Hawaii Water Damage Restoration.
Kyle of Impact Wealth.
Brian with Cleanscape LLC. If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, all you got to do is go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio, and Sheen, our video producer. Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.
Give them the shaka.